All right. No, I think this is just for the internet. Yes. Hello, internet. I'm gonna do it like this. You're gonna hear me, and I don't want to make everyone in the internet deaf. Should I hear what? All right. Welcome to MTV, everybody. And I just really happy to see everyone here. Just really happy to be able to do. Now, in fact, today, 10 years. Well, not today, but this month. From first time we got together and talked about creating Amsterdam PHP. It was the first official meetup. It was interesting. We just gathered the people who wanted to get involved in the organization. Two random people who came in off the street because they saw it on Meetup. At least they did PHP. They gave some good ideas. But I was there, Hena, Frank, all of the original people who started and the first sponsor. So it was really beginning. And that has been 10 freaking years. And so much has happened in 10 years that I just feel like reminiscing for a second. Bear with me, I'm sorry. But from the very first meetups, from the first cancellations, from the first to someone raffling off an entire year of books on their first meetup when they started organizing. So meetup we we only canceled one. Well, before people, yeah, it was the first. Trains got canceled. Shit. So much happened, and all of our lives also changed. Some people came in and started hosting. Some people left and went to London. Um, so much has changed. Some people. Some people got dogs. Some dogs, took got cats. And then, after 2 years, we're finally able to be here again. And we never expected the pandemic to be what it was. We never expected to have a hiatus of 2 years, but I'm really glad we're back. Now, with change also comes more change. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that this user group was started by a group of us back 10 years ago, but it has more life. And I'm very, very happy that a couple of months ago, we reached out and a bunch of you stepped up to take this to the next step. And I want to name drop here because these are the people you're going to be talking to get your company hosting. If you want to be a speaker, so please raise your hands, everyone. Pauline, Zan, CJ, Bas, Frank over there with his headphones, looking cool, looking at his phone. He's doing our social media, but he has his virtual hand up. Suha, where are you, Suha? Hiding somewhere. Over there, running around, watching the stream and listening to me. There we go. So I would like to really thank all of you who stepped up, who want to organize, who want to help us out. And I want to hand the keys over to you because I am now going to sit in the back. I am going to enjoy myself, and I don't have any more responsibility. But I'll be around. You're not getting rid of me yet. It was a pleasure to be here with you for these 10 years, for the new ones and the old ones. It was a pleasure to run this next to you, Pascal, and with everyone, Jacob, Jeroen, everyone that's been here with us for this long. So with that, Hand it over to you.
Is it not working? What's not working?
Yeah, we have the microphone in the webcam, so it's fine.
Okay, with my voice, they can hear me like with without
It was even better with the microphone. So.
Okay. Well then, I'm not gonna hand you over the microphone.
I thought like you can't have the microphone all night, but that might just be annoying if it's not working anyway.
Enjoy. I'm gonna exit stage left.
Hi, I'm Dan. I will be doing the hostile takeover of AmsterdamPHP. Basically taking all the credit for everything he's done for the last 10 years. We're starting about 15 minutes late because of the wonderful monologue you've done. It's going to be me talking, and then we'll have talk by Jan, and then we'll have raffle and social with lots of prizes for the big return.
You're gonna bring a new raffle.
What?
You're gonna bring a new raffle.
Colleen's written like a brand new raffler. Great.
So we're gonna break it.
Tonight's sponsors for the venue are Castor and venue and food, I think.
Yeah.
Completely different to how my old user group did, so I'm confused. Yeah, Castor are the new sponsors. We'll be doing prizes are elephants, water bottles, which actually that's not a prize, everyone's got one. That doesn't really count.
Everybody's winning.
The elephants, I think we've got some books to raffle. And if you want to buy an elephant, there's loads at the back. Tonight's speaker, Jan, will be speaking on Mercure. And for the joined in, we never actually updated the slides. So everyone, can you point your phones to this really quickly?
You can also read it on the meetup. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it. I don't really need to say anything else. And our sponsors to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Castor?
David from Castor, I think.
Yep. Oh, there it is. There we go. It's on your list.
Hi everyone, I'll keep it very short and sweet. My name is David, I'm the head of engineering at Castor. On behalf of everyone from Castor, we're really happy to be hosting the event today. For those of you that don't know what we do, we work in the clinical trial space. So we build software that helps with consent of participants into a trial, the recruitment phase, and also the data collection towards the end. We work across a number of different problems in the world that are happening globally, including, of course, COVID, where we support over 500 COVID-19 studies. So it's, including the World Health Organization, which is the world's largest COVID study that's going on right now. So kind of fitting that we're the first organization to host this event post-COVID, and we're, again, really honored. So I'm really looking forward to the sessions today. And once again, great to see you all. If you need any, if you have any questions, you can come to myself, Frank, Suha, and Evelina at the back there, and we'll be happy to help you out. Cool. Thanks very much and enjoy.
You don't have to work, don't you? So there's a microphone with a webcam, and it was only for the internet, so. Non-whispering, so you shouldn't be able to.
No, it's from sorry. I need to make quicker stuff.
Apparently it freezes anytime you unplug the laptop.
Exactly.
Hey, bar for the course.
It's brand new M1 MacBook.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff.
It's an honored tradition at meetup.
Yeah. Love that download.
Something has to be moved.
Fucking hate that word so much.
So I will try to speak a little bit louder.
Yeah,
So what helps to
should be okay.
Okay.
Well done. Hey, there he is.
So, hello everyone.
Hi.
I'm so happy to be here. It's my first time speaking in Amsterdam. It's my second time actually here, and I have to say this is great community. So thank you everyone already before we start. And I have one duty before I start talking to the topic. I promised. Okay, the clicker does not work. Doesn't matter.
Do you want me to unplug it and plug it back in?
You must work in IT.
I can see one of my slides got lost, but it doesn't matter. It was a joke. So
We don't like jokes.
I can make quick edit. If you give me like 30 seconds, I can make it happen.
Yeah, don't look at me.
It got frozen again. But this is not a joke.
That's the joke?
No, this,
I don't like anymore.
Just a small patch.
no, I'm sorry. This wasn't really part of the joke. I cannot control. I'm so sorry. It's not my fault. Okay. Please accept my
Rapper's gonna work first time?
It's totally, now that this happened, the rapper's definitely gonna work.
But really, this wasn't part of the joke.
Pretty good.
Okay, hopefully everyone is doing well. You have some beers to drink.
Yeah.
and-
Well, it's fucking yellow.
I think if anyone needs one right now, it's
Yeah, please raise your hands if you are having a good time.
It's okay. It's 3 years.
Yeah, if you have nothing to drink, please call the bartender.
His name is Pascal.
many albums.
This is why we find
20 seconds left.
You had to drop one, I had to drop one out. Done? Welcome.
Would you like to keep my models? Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
I'm not sure if it was really 30 seconds. Maybe
Did you get
plus
it done?
plus the restart. No, the joke is coming. But actually, I'm not sure if the joke is there. Never mind. Guys, if I can call it a joke.
Where's your hot 6 beer?
Okay, round off the beers, guys, wrap it up so we can start the song.
Time for a joke.
We are still on time because I was told that we will postpone to 8 p.m. So we have quite a time.
Okay, that's
We got all night, it's fine. I have a babysitter.
Oh, that's fine. So shall we?
yes, please.
Okay, so here we go. I promised to my wife, actually, so sorry, I'm so sorry she can't be here with me today, but she had to take care about the kids. So I promise at least that I will wave to the camera. Ahoj, Jero. Ciao, Neri. So yeah, that's it. Actually, it's not a joke. I promised to do it, so they are watching from home, the live stream. I'm not sure if she's interested about the topic, but I will keep it short. My daughter is standing before the TV and calling Tatina, Tatina.
Aw.
So yeah, let's do it. Thank you. Today I will show you some introduction to Mercure protocol, how it works, some useful use cases, and how I implement it in Peon. I will call it Peon actually because it's in Czech. I played Warcraft 3, but it should be Peon. But if you hear Peon, it's the Peon. But what I will not show you is some Hello World example, how to install Mercure into your application, how to run some Mercure server, and I will not introduce the Hotwire Turbo, so this is not like basics. It's how to keep it simple in your application and clean architecture. So please take this as experience after implementing and having some fun with Mercure in real application. For me, when I first time met Mercure, I thought that it's some kind of WebSocket. It's very similar, but it's not the same. I would call it, these are the modern WebSockets. Kevin described that Mercure protocol is high level and WebSocket is low level. There are a lot of things that you have to solve by yourself when playing with WebSocket. And I must say that I fall in love with Mercure, and it was great for my use case that we will see on the presentation. So I definitely recommend going with Mercure. It's fully open source. The protocol, the server, there is a debug graphic interface for it. Everything is open source. I love it. It has native browser support because it's using several send events. So basically, any browser since Internet Explorer 7, even there it works with polyfills. But I hope no one of you have to bother with such legacy browsers anymore. It leverages HTTP2, which is great for the performance. More cool features like reconnection. There is implemented built-in authorization, which again, if you are doing something in WebSocket, you have to do it yourself. And what I love probably the most, and I consider to be a killer feature, is that updates to the server can be used using the HTTP post request, and you don't have to establish the connection between server and the client. For me, this is the best feature. I stole this image from official documentation to explain how it works. So on one side, you have application server that can be web application, it can be worker, anything can be basically because how it works that you can push updates using the post HTTP request. So you have the server, and then you have the clients, and you will subscribe to some topics, and you will receive updates. As I said, basically it's same as with WebSockets. We will get more to details. And by the way, if you have any question during the presentation, please don't bother and stop me and ask. Feel free. What is important to mention that you don't have PHP or Symfony at all to implement this Mercure protocol. This is plain JavaScript. Example of client connection, because as I said, it's implemented using the event source and server send events. You can do it in any browser, and it has native support. So this is quite simple. 3 lines could be done in 2 lines. Connection and subscribing to my topic. It's important for next slide where we have example of publishing an update. So if this way we said, I'm waiting, I subscribe it to the topic, and this way I push some update. And if I was the client, if you paid attention in your browser, you will see some message in the console. And basically that's it. That's how Mercure protocol works. This is maybe the hello world I said that I will not show you. There are a few very fancy things here on the small screenshot. That's the topic we subscribe to. It can be anything. It supports placeholders with some curly brackets, so that will play some role later. Very important, probably the most important part are the data we are sending. It can be anything. It can be plain text. It can be JSON. It can be HTML, which we will do in the example, and that is exactly what the Symfony is doing with the Symfony UX and Turbo under the hood. And there we have the authorization. That is as well great because it enables us to send different updates to different people. Because imagine you have some sensitive data and you don't want to show them to every user. So authorization is very important. And then we have some URL. It's defined by the standard that it always will be on this URL, that you have some host and it will be on well-known Mercure. It's defined by the standard itself. Not every application will benefit from using Mercure. If you have some personal website, blog, or I don't know, that's the most simple example I can come up with. You probably don't want and don't need to use Mercure. So that's good to know. Here are some examples. I, again, was inspired from the official documentation. Whenever you need some live availability, e-commerce, booking.com is quite a good example because yesterday happened that my reservation, my room was booked twice. And they canceled my reservation, probably because they were not using Mercure. If they had some live updates, it wouldn't happen. Chat application is the most simple and often mentioned example for, sure?
Does it support Perl?
For what?
Because that would explain why Booking.com doesn't use it.
Yeah, the protocol basically can be used by any language, I believe.
No excuse then.
Yeah, no excuse for them.
Well, Perl language.
What I will show you are basically asynchronous jobs where I have some worker and it is pushing updates to the server and then presenting them to the user. So it was my use case. And any real-time use collaboration like, I don't know, Google Sheets, Google Docs, and so on. That's a good example of when it makes sense to use it. So here's my domain use case, very simple. I just feel like it's important to show you and understand why I decided to use Mercure. So I will keep it very short and simple. We have some tasks to do. You as user tell Peon what to do. It creates the job. It will be pending. Then some worker in the background will start working on it, so it's in progress. And then the job is finished. That's it. That's all the use case. No details needed. That's all. And in PHP, what's good to mention is I love domain-driven design and clean architecture and so on. So maybe you will learn something from this. From domain perspective, when implementing this Mercure protocol, it was important for me to touch as less code as possible and to not change the domain, just to add some real-time communication. So I had this event in my domain, and I'm dispatching. That's it. That's all domain. Again, no more details needed, I believe. Architecture of the application, if I make it a little bit simple, we have some client. That is, will you see my cursor? So this is the client in the browser. He sees some UI. And here is the domain. I don't want to touch the domain at all when I was implementing the Mercure protocol. And here is the worker that is doing some heavy work. And then I already had subscribers listening to that event I showed you in previous slide. This is my controller. Very simple. As a user, when you go to some website and you see something, that is responsibility of the controller to get some data and present it to users. So just draw the template. You might be asking why I'm showing it to you, but it will make all sense a little bit later. Please focus on this template. It's really important that there is some template. It's template for a controller. I love to keep it simple. Then we have this template. Nothing special to see here. There is some for loop and yeah, the status. Okay, I will move on. No, not really have to stay here. And now, before I had the Mercure, this is the user experience I had. I don't know what is going on. I just know there is the job is in progress. And I have to refresh the page to get the update because I refreshed, done. That's it. Can you agree with me that this is very pure user experience that I have to refresh, I don't know, 20 times, and unless this is done, I don't know what is going on?
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's tragic.
Thank you. That's why I decided that this is no go for me, and I would love to deliver the best possible user experience. So, yeah, the reason behind. Yeah, sorry. If you remember our use case, so let's add one condition there. As a user, I want to see updates about the status. So this little change will make a shift in the user experience. But how to do it? I love to keep it simple. I don't want to touch my domain because I believe this is not related to domain at all. It should be some application layer or infrastructure, maybe. I don't know. I just don't want to touch the domain. Before I started, or before you start implementing Mercure, there is something you should know. It's basic knowledge about the Mercure. You already had that. You know how it works. It's open protocol. You can send calls to the server. So you got it. And remaining points I will not show you today. You will need to go through Hotwire Turbo. I promise it's just a few minutes reading for basics. You don't have to spend hours on it. But if you want to, it's definitely worth reading. You will need running Mercure server. It's really easy to do it if you are using the Docker. It's super simple. It's not going to show you today. And you will have to install, if you are, of course, using the Symfony. But you are not limited to. You will install this package and configure it. Again, very easy. Follow the documentation, and it's great. I have links on the end of the presentation. When I was thinking about the architecture, I just added one part, and it was new subscriber that was listening to the event and sent push to the Mercure server. That's it. I was thinking to make it simple and make it work, just to meet the requirements, which is usually very important for business, to meet the requirements. And here is it in action. There are no refreshes happening. It's just the application in action. The worker behind is doing some stuff, and me as a user in browser, I get this feedback immediately. What do you think? Is it better? Sorry, I didn't have a better example, but I believe this is cool.
Yeah.
If you want, I can repeat. Like once again, just to show that click, 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 and then it's appearing. I was so taken away when it just started working.
It is very satisfying.
God, I wish I had some jobs to run.
Can you maybe put on YouTube like
It's there already.
8 hour long week? So
I can do it. We can think about the alternatives we have here. You can still refresh the page. It's boring. You can use some polling, like Ajax request running in loops every 5 seconds, and the request. No. This is the way.
have you considered the HTTP, what is it again, the refresh, that it just automatically refreshes the page every 5 seconds?
Another approach, yes, you can do it. Or you can simply use the Mercure protocol, and there is very important note that application must, okay, it must not, but it should if you really focus on the user experience and user is important for you, then the application should be behaving exactly the same way with the Mercure as without it. I can see some confused faces. What does it mean? If I refresh in the middle of the show, I must receive exactly the same result. Because with Mercure, it can easily happen that if you focus on the turbo too much, then you will have quite different results. That your application will provide best experience when using the Mercure, but without it, when I refresh, something can break. And I will show you how to do it. That's another reason why I mentioned the template and to focus on it, because it will play a role. We will have 3 different types of templates. So far, we had just one, and it was template of the controller itself. But now we will add 2 more. Before we go to the templates, this is the subscriber, where the magic happens. So we got the topic, we name it. It has some unique identifier to not push update to every user and every project, but limited only to the job, to this one specific. And as I said, Mercure can transfer any type of data. And our case is that we will transfer HTML. There is a great thing in Symfony if you are using this magic hotwire turbo Symfony UX, that I really love it because I don't have to repeat myself. I will just have one template, and if I little bit decouple it and reuse, include, I can have just one time. It will be, notice there is a stream in name. Go back, that there is a controller template. This is the stream template, and we will have as well fragment. Yeah, but that's it. In my subscriber, I will prepare the template, which is great because the logic is done just once. Fetching the data, for example, it saves a lot of performance because imagine there is a query to database, and if there were 1,000 users connected to the hub, and all of them refreshed the page at the same time, it would execute thousands of queries into the database. But using this approach, I will already render the template on the server and push this update to all of them. So there will be just one query to the database, and they will receive the final HTML, which for me is great. And then, of course, I will push it to the hub. By the way, this is useful if you use Symfony as a full stack framework with templates, but otherwise, I'm not sure. You have to find a way. I heard, for example, there are some React developers. I believe it will be better to communicate in JSON and have some logic on the front-end side that if we receive some body and type and so on, so it will be a little bit more difficult. But I believe you don't want to receive final HTML when not using Symfony as a full-stack framework. It will work, but there is something else you will have to do for it. Okay, in the controller template, this is the way how I enable listening to the Mercure hub, the subscription. This way, there is a two-way helper. I will say, listen to this topic, and that's it. I refresh the page when I'm developing, and just having this one line in code, it will open the connection and subscribe to the topic. You can notice that I have the variable here for the project, so I'm listening exactly for this one topic I used previously. If you can remember the template before, it was all in one, and here I'm already starting to decouple. This is the third template we haven't seen yet, and this is the fragment template. There is a convention in Symfony that if it's a fragment, it will start with the underscore. And I just took the original content, put it there, and plus there is one more magic, and I've wrapped it in the ID. So it's unique, and it's important for the toolbar itself. You will see now why. This is the last one, template. Notice it's the stream. This might seem a little bit weird for you. What kind of syntax is there? It's HTML tag, but it's turbo. Then we have some template, and that these tags actually don't exist in the HTML. So this is the turbo. By default, I would copy paste my code, but I hate to repeat myself. I will just include the fragment I created in the previous step, and that's it. And the magic is happening here. I'm saying that when I receive the message from the Mercure, I should replace, and I should replace content of this target, and I will replace it with the HTML I will receive. So maybe now it makes a little bit more sense for you. Does it?
Yep.
Okay. Actually, it was a little bit faster than I expected, so there are some final thoughts. We got very positive side effect, not only about the performance mentioned as the queries to database, because what else is happening there if you refresh the page is you are downloading all the HTML, but compared to the approach with the Mercure is you are transferring just the one fragment that actually changes it. You don't have to download the CSS, it's maybe cached in the browser, but all the stuff, if you have, I don't know, other elements on the page that would fire a request to database or to API, it will not happen because you are transferring already just the one thing. What I found is it is very good to use the caddy as a web server. I went with a little bit different approach. The caddy web server can serve as the Mercure server, and there can be two components at once. Because for me, I can show you actually because we have some time. I was really fast. I use two separate containers, so this way I can save some memory and so on. By the way, everything I have shown you is open source and it's on GitHub, so you can take it as an inspiration. So my approach is that this is the web server. So I have here in the example I'm using the built-in PHP web server. I have to bother about authorization and blah 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 things to communicate with the Mercure protocol because it's secure this way and you need it to set up. And here at the bottom, as a separate process, I'm running the Mercure server. But if you decide to go with the caddy, you don't have to do it, and it's much simpler. So if I was starting over, I would probably go this way, but everything was already working, so I didn't go to rewrite it. So yeah, that's my recommendation. If you just want to play with it, use the official Docker image, this one. Okay, no, I think there is one more image. This is just for the Mercure server, but there is caddy that has everything inside. And don't use it just because it's cool. Think about it if there is a use case for it. As I said, if you have just a blog or personal web page, I don't believe that Mercure is somehow interesting for you. And definitely, I would like to thank to Kevin, who's author of the Mercure and the Symfony UX initiative, and nothing of this would be possible without him. So thank you, Kevin. And here are the resources. By the way, the presentation is online. It's on SlideShare. Let me check again. SlideShare.net, and you can find it there. Maybe we could share the link somewhere.
Yeah, we will put it in the meetup.
Thank you. And probably that's everything from my side, unless you have some questions. And yeah. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you for your presentation. I've got a question about authentication from client side. So how do you can say this is for this user and not for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. You might notice I just very briefly showed it. There is some JVT key. It's on both sides. Either on the for me it's a little different because I have the web server, so it has the JVT secret, and then there is as well public key. And every message is signed with this key. Okay, let me think about it. You asked that. Let me understand the situation. You are asking about if I'm sending something to you and you receive it and no one else.
Yeah. So how can I avoid that, like a personal topic in chat, for example, that not other users also sign?
Okay. I will not go into deep details because I might get lost. It happens, I believe, during the initiating the connection between client, it means the browser, and the Mercure hub. So at the time you connect the first time, there is something like handshake, and this will make sure that you are subscribed just to the topics that you are allowed, and you are not able to receive anything else. And for me, right now, it's easier to say that it's just how it works. But it's definitely best to read this one, and it's described here, Mercure.rocks, in the specification of the protocol itself. Yeah, it will be definitely here.
So yeah, so it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It's very important, as I said, because, for example, Castor said that they have very user-sensitive data, so they are okay to use Mercure. It's safe.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's safe and secure.
You're so lucky.
Thanks for the presentation. My question is that does it use WebSucre from the hook or?
No. I can show you again because we have quite some time, I guess.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because if not, I want to know that the benefits of using Mercure instead of WebSucre.
Okay. I had the same question. I asked Google.
Not that guy.
It's in the frequency asked question.
See what you said.
And there is a better described that I would probably do. But the biggest difference for me was that I can push changes without initiating the connection using the post request to the server. And here probably another killer feature is that WebSockets are not using HTTP2, which means that there will be probably a huge difference in the performance itself.
To add to that, like event source is essentially a OpenHP connection that keeps calling. Like you only get a read-only stream of events on the browser. So that's a big difference because WebSockets is two-way communication, right?
It's a ping-pong connection.
Yeah, exactly. So this is only to push events, and the server is just sending, hey, this is a continuous stream of things, and the connection is always open to the client. So I think it's not like what's best, but like trade-offs, right? You have to analyze for the use case that you're building for, what makes the most sense.
And also you need to combine that with Mercury over HTTP2. You already have the connection open anyway. So if you send a request with the post information to Mercury, that's the same connection. So essentially it's different protocols. But even WebSockets, you're using one connection. For Mercury HTTP2, you're using one connection. So there is no, on that at least on that level, there's no big winner game. Depends on how you implement it, what you need to do, and how it comes higher up.
Yeah, when I was deciding what to choose, I always wanted to play with WebSockets, but there was a huge barrier. And compared to the Mercure, I read the examples, the tutorial and documentation, and it was very simple to start. So if you have no experience with the WebSocket, I wouldn't do it and just go with the Mercure.
A quick question. So are the stream of the events persistent or no?
Yes, it is. There is some default implementation. It should be again to be found somewhere here. There is some persistence inside of the server, and I'm not sure exactly what it uses under the hood, but yes, it's persistent. And is it okay like this?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I would get lost into the details.
I think we're doing one more question. That's okay?
I can have many questions.
Go for it.
Should I pick one or how it works?
Okay, yeah, me. Okay, so I've never used WebSockets, or I'm like a noob. So the backend communicates to the Mercure server by sending an HTTP post. Okay, this I got. What I didn't quite get is how then this server communicates with the clients. Like what happens?
Okay. It's the client who initiates the connection to the server.
Right.
And you can. I will go back to this this example. This way, you will provide the URL, and just by doing this line, this is the browser native. We can Google server send events.
I just really suck at JavaScript, so I didn't get that part.
That's great because you don't have to know much about the JavaScript. You just can use it.
The reason I'm asking, maybe it's better to provide with the context, is that in our application we use GraphQL, and GraphQL has GraphQL subscriptions, which are basically the same concept like real-time updates. And I'm wondering what is better for us. Would it be to use that or?
There are some examples.
Oh, look at that!
Kevin got you covered.
It plays particularly well with GraphQL subscriptions. You can take a picture of that.
Recommend reading this because I have never used GraphQL.
It's great. You should.
Can we do one more question?
Okay. One
last
try.
So, how did you come to Mercure? Did you look for WebSocket alternatives on Google, or?
I googled real-time updates.
Yeah.
I knew that actually I had the use case that user is frustrated from having to refresh the page. I had this situation. I knew that WebSockets exist. I knew that I can get some hacky solution with Ajax in background and so on. And this way I found that Mercure exists.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. So nothing freezes?
I don't know. Yeah, it's not frozen. Just the keyboard. Thank you.
Well, I think that was great. That's some more prizes. We have a lot of prizes. What? What's that?
Please don't raffle the entire box of elephants like Pascal did with the book.
I will not raffle the entire. Am I supposed to raffle the entire pile of books?
I don't care. Whatever.
No, this one.
Pascal doesn't care. Everyone gets it. All right. Well, I thought that was great. You'll see in a second why I thought it was great. It's a little bit relevant to my interests, but if you also thought it was great, or not, but I doubt it. Again, you can go to Joined In. Again, it's the QR code because we didn't put the link in. To be fair, the person who was doing the slides had to take care of the sync toddler, so I don't really blame him. So if everyone's got that, and if you didn't get it, you can just go on Joined In and search for AmsterdamPHP monthly meeting.
The link
There
is
will
also
be
on Meetup.
2 events. What?
The link is also
Oh,
on
it's
Meetup.
also on Meetup. Okay, so then you can go to the Meetup event. Oh, sneak peek. Also, I think you'll notice that Meetup is not the venue. Castor is the venue, so that's another hiccup that we had.
You can evaluate the venue on Meetup.
Oh, like that. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
See,
never
this
know
is
where to find
Amsterdam
those.
PHP organizer baby issues. All right. So, some upcoming conferences. There aren't as many as usual, but there are some, of course. We've got PHP Day 2022 coming up in Verona with yours truly, and some other people like Scoop that a lot of people might know. Yeah, there's a good lineup, and there's still some tickets for sale, so that's still available. Now we've got Dutch PHP, which is an online version. It was going to be physical, but now it's going to be online. They didn't feel ready to do a physical one. That's June 24th, and it is free. So you don't even have to buy it. You can just register for it, and it's free. And then we have Symfony Con coming up this year with a pretty crazy venue, which is Disneyland Paris. And I want to mention this one specifically because the CFP for it, the call for papers, so if you want to do a talk, you can submit a talk at the call for papers. I see someone cringe click. Angela's like, no, I don't want to do it. But the CFP closes tomorrow, if you did want to. If you want a free trip to Disneyland, the CFP closes tomorrow. Also, I don't know if we can turn on the lights here, because I feel like it's getting a little bit dark. Although I do feel like I'm getting a bit of a flush from the 1.5 beers that I've had. All right, so for raffles, we built a new raffler because we can use the Meetup API for free anymore. I think that was the main reason, no?
Well, that and it never really.
Yeah, it
Oh yeah, never. I don't think we want to fix it.
Raphael built it.
Raphael built it, so and now I built one. And you can join it with this QR code that I'm not sure if you can actually scan very well. And otherwise, you could just enter the link there, enter the URL, like a pleb. Can everyone read it? No.
Can you read out the number that it comes like?
It's maybe I can just. See, there's already 3 people who've joined. And I wanted to mention this because this is actually built with WebSockets.
Why didn't you use Mercure?
I didn't use it because I didn't know it existed.
Well, I do, so now I have to rewrite.
It's never been stress tested with this amount of connections. So.
Pauline, why is my emoji angry again?
Because it's randomly seeded and because I put in a condition.
Did you put the ink back in?
So also from hey, if you're watching at home, you can also join it, and it'll update live if you want because of WebSockets. Wow.
But if people are watching from home, how will we get them the raffle stuff?
They will just say in the Discord, hey, I won, and also it'll show on here. Jeez, it's getting too big for the screen, everyone. Oh my god. Okay, so this type of stuff I always I always treat it like it's a bag of popcorn in a microwave. If there's like 2 seconds apart, 2-3 seconds apart, I think.
So what about the Discord channel you mentioned?
Yeah, what about the Discord? I can't remember what the Discord channel is. It's not in the slides.
Anybody know?
It's AmsterdamPHP.
Oh,
it's AmsterdamPHP, and we already also linked it on Twitter, so.
You can find the link on the YouTube, on the live stream. There's a link to the Discord channel. It's very active right now.
Yeah, if you refresh the page, the connection is broken.
Yeah.
Only when you
Okay, let's do it before this breaks. We're going to start with the first book, and it is Elegant Objects. Do we usually let people choose the book?
No, you're running this show.
There's too many books. We're not choosing the book. Elegant Objects it is. You can trade amongst yourselves. Now, hopefully, there should be a sound. actually, so hopefully that will work.
That's me.
There is no sound. I will. Yes, there is. Oh my God!
It's so fancy.
Is it, which bus is this? Is there only one bus? There's another bus? Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
All right. There should be instructions. Pick another. There's. Oh wait, I scrolled down. That's why I was worried it was broken, but it's not. Okay, so next prize, developer, advocate. About a topic that we all know, but we don't quite know what it is. Where's my sound I'm so glad it works because we tested it today and it did not work. All right. PHP web services, everyone.
Very, very thin.
Very thin, but worth it and easy to read because it is so thin.
I did not.
Oh, did it say you won?
No, it said better luck next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so did anyone? It did say you won. It does. Yeah, it refreshes after 5 seconds because. I think I'm gonna refresh, and then everyone has to join again. Then we're gonna go to Chrome and try there.
But you know what? If it was Mercure, then it's possible to.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
So you do the following. You send a pull request.
If it's
It
open
might be
source, I'm
because
able
I
to
disconnected
send
from the
a
internet.
It is. And don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, the web kind of needs the internet.
Yeah, but it is connected to my phone, so I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not connected to the internet, so I guess that.
Just do a hotspot from your phone.
They want me to
Oh,
share.
okay, here we go. We're good. Okay.
Wow, this is fancy.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't need Mercure. I can just include my own very basic authentication.
I can send.
What were we doing again? Oh yeah, we have one winner.
I'm in.
You're in.
Oh
wait.
And you should have the same face.
Okay, turn off the lights. Just for a second.
So you have the same face every time.
Do this in the database?
No, it's
Is it
not.
cache?
No, it's not.
Is it the session as a cookie?
It's just it seeds it from your username. So, very fancy.
Oh.
Event streams in action, also very relevant. I would say. Event streams in action. Let's go. I feel like there's many more people that are working on
Again.
What the? Sorry. Alright. This happened with the other after too, right?
Yes.
So, very good.
That's why we hated it.
Hey!
Hold on. So first you get after, then you get on shelf.
Is it ruffling alphabetically?
Hold on, let me log in as Angelini.
We've got reactive messaging patterns with the actor model. I don't know what that is, but it feels similar. Okay. Nothing's crashed yet. I guess because my internet connection is so good. Again. Sorry, Rangel. I promise it's right.
You're welcome to open a PR.
Okay. So that was the last of our books, and we have a whole box of elephants, but I think 3 is a good amount.
3 sounds good?
Yeah. Not and you can pick the color. How about that? You can pick the color.
What are the colors?
The colors are these 2 colors. And one is a Heroku elephant, and the other is
OG.
The OG elephant. But not the real OG one, but like the
semi-OG.
What's the real OG?
They're just blue, but like a slightly different hue of blue.
The
OG is in that box.
Yeah, OG blue is old. Not OG blue is like rolling.
All right. Okay, 3 elephants. First elephant. The sound gets kind of annoying after that.
No.
J. Yeah. I like to throw one. Next person. He was already coming up. All right. Second elephant. Let's go. Seizure. In my head, you're not CJ. Do you want purple or blue? Blue?
Trash cans over there.
This is why I'm not a quarterback.
We have a strict no throwing elephants policy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, one of these sponsors complained.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, third and last elephant.
Do these almost still something on the
Again.
Wink race. It's purple.
Oh yes,
Okay.
excellent.
Okay, I think that's it for the prizes because the other prize was a water bottle and I think everyone got one. No? Yes? Okay, great. So then, so we have a very limited number of hosts and speakers lined up, of course, as we're rebooting. But we're always looking for a place to host. Like Castor is hosting tonight. If your company does want to host, come up to us or DM us or whatever, and we'll talk about it. There are some requirements in terms of like food and stuff, but we can discuss that. And then speakers, there are basically no requirements.
You need to breathe.
You need to be able to speak, I guess, in whichever form. Huh?
In person.
In person. That we do like to have in-person people for now, unless we really can't find someone in person. So we would prefer in person. And also, I want to mention, if you're a veteran speaker, that's fine. If you're a new speaker, that's totally fine. We have always welcomed beginning speakers, first-time speakers, and it's a really good meetup for a tryout as well, if you need to do a tryout. So definitely hit us up if you want to host and or speak. And I don't know what this is.
It's next month.
Is this? Oh, this is next month. Okay, well that's Mark Baker, who's over there. I was looking at the slide. I was like, I was trying to read it really quickly. So next month, the next speaker is Mark Baker, and I think it's at Schiphol. Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully
the winds behave.
So join us next month as well. And I think that's it. Yeah. So enjoy the social.